William Grafe, the Gambit man, takes his seat at the board. E4. E5. Knight F3. Bishop C5. The Bushgas Gambit on the board. On with the Gambit classes. Hero pawn unlocked.
Playing a CM from Croatia. I think, again, didn't I just do that? Another one. Well, let's play Goring Gambit. I like this line. D5 is a way to decline it, but unlike in the Danish, we have these moves included, and it allows us to play bishop d3, because takes, knight f6, knight f6 rather, attacks the bishop here, but we have bishop takes e6, because we played knight f3 and knight c6 on move 2 before d4. D takes c3, this is a fun line. I actually take d5, they can take b2 if they'd like. But yeah, that looks like, because if I just play knight c3, then that's a very clean pawn. But yeah, we'll go queen d5 here, and now we're going to get some really nice compensation. I kind of like this line a lot. I like the compensation that we generate here. I've had someone play c2 against me, but we're up one pawn. I'm sorry, we're down. Here we'd be down just one pawn. So we don't have anything on the queen, unfortunately, because there's no checks for the bishop at the moment. My opponent played bishop d6, presumably with the idea of knight g to e7, which is probably a good idea against shielding here. So I'm just going to play knight takes c3 right now, see what they do with the queen. They also have the idea of castling long, so I need to fight against kind of both these ideas right now. And I'm sure, according to the engine, it's a big fan of black's extra pawn at the moment. But white here has any number of ideas, including, I think I'm leaning towards knight b5. I think this is a pretty annoying one, all things considered. Okay. I think, yeah, taking that bishop is going to be frustrating, whether the king is going that way or that way. And knight e7 is a good idea to shield. So they play your bishop g4. Let's grab that bishop. So they have some pressure here. I'm leaning right now towards bishop e4 or bishop e2. I like bishop e4 because I think particularly against castles, it gives me bishop takes c6 as an option, which would really weaken the structure around the king. Bishop e4 fortifies f3. And now I'm looking at this d6 pawn. Okay, I'll grab that as they castle. Now we'll have a bishop pair. And the pawn count will be equal. Many options here for white. I think I will just play bishop out. Actually, let's play h3. I was just a little scared of f5 here, threatening against that. Come back, bishop e6, so really no issues here. This could be a bit annoying. Pressure against these knights. If rook d8, I was planning on just coming back queen g3, for instance. Now, stepped into this pin. We've got a couple pins now. Both these guys. Bishop f6 is on the table. And I like the little dance my queen did here. And my bishop pair is operating very well. I think I got my pawn back, and I got a nice advantage out of this opening as well. I was also threatening bishop c6 there, because of this pin. So bishop f6, there's knight g6. Oh, if I went queen h2, maybe I would have had g4 as an option, which might have been very spicy. Alright, for now we'll just go rook d1, mayhaps? Let's go rook c1. Queen f4, g4 is interesting to me. Although I can't lose this, so I'll have to dance another way. Could be thinking about that pawn. Let's go here. Knight g6, I expect. And then maybe made that a little bit vulnerable. Actually, I'll come back. This is a good opportunity for a pin. Although I guess they have the simple rook d8. Play a3 to not lose that. So okay, I have this bishop. Trade off my light square bishop, it's okay. This guy I think is doing a good job, pretty solid piece, aiming this direction. Ties down the knight. Gives me this little idea, h4, h5, pretty sneaky, trying to make checkmate there. Although we're down to just 20 seconds, so I think that's kind of the critical part right now. Let's go g5, I'm looking at that pawn. Well, not knight takes, right? I guess I have to go pawn takes. It's tough with my mouse. Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred dodging that trade, honestly. Maybe king out right now could be helpful. It's pretty solid positioning of the pieces, all things considered. For both sides here. Let's go here g3, keep the knights out. Pin. Oh, bishop d4 was probably a good opportunity. Oh, that's hanging. Well, smart. Oh, missed. By both sides. g6 would be a good move. I would like to play f5. Okay, they let me. That's good. Oh, that was hanging. Okay. They found time trouble even more difficult than I did. Trying to get through. I guess they're close to being in Zugzwang. That would be a good trade. Here we go. Oh, they resigned. Okay. Whew. Alright, tough endgame there, but we grounded out. Interesting opening where I wasn't really expecting to play an endgame out of that opening. I figured either I'd be sacking two pawns. Either I'd get them in the beginning or I wouldn't. But it ended up being that they gave the pawns back for their king safety, and my advantage was like some bishops. So kind of a standard white advantage out of an opening. But yeah, this really interesting line, d4 takes c3. It's the Goring Gambit you can find on my channel. I like this a lot better than the Danish Gambit, which is d4 here and then c3. Because you'll note d5, if you just, like, there's no way out of this, really, other than just dead equality. Like, takes just knight f6, really, if you're playing black here, and just dead equality. Really not much to say here. But in this line, with knight f3 first, and we get the same position, this bishop d3 move is very spicy, because there's no takes and knight f6. I mean, oh, they can. But without the knights, there's nothing. Like, the knights are just back, white here is just down a pawn. They have take c6 here, and then castles, and so this is just much, much better, of course. In the game, dc3, ed5, and you guys can find full Goring. You could search Goring Gambit and my name, and you'll find full repertoire on my channel and some games. But yeah, here, so it takes d5, queen d5. pretty fun line. I invited them again to actually grab this pawn on b2 and to sacrifice 2 pawns. I think this is a pretty fun position. In the game, bishop d6 I thought was interesting, queen h5. And so here, yeah, we go after this bishop, knight b5, and bishop g4, like they're getting ready to castle or something, they're going to develop their pieces, but I'm going to have really no issues getting my pawn back. Bishop e4, we fortify this knight. I guess better here is bishop e2. So take d6. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. The bishop on e4 felt a little loose. My concern here was castle's long, but I guess the king is just too unsafe there. Just like bishop e3, h3, rook c1. And this is just much more solid for white. So bishop e4 in the game, and I grab my pawn back. They managed to castle, so they gave that back. They played here bishop d6. They let me just come grab that bishop. Of course, I have the initiative, so I'm able to just kind of create threats there because my king is safe and theirs is not. They kind of just have to deal with it. But that was the price of the pawns that I sacrificed. But now we have just like a kind of a plus 0.2 position. I don't think anything major was missed here. Okay, rook would have been better off on d1. Challenge for this main file. I guess I agree. There was nothing going on the c file. That knight was pretty solid. h6 encouraged this neat little move. Bishop f6. I mean, didn't do a whole lot of damage. There's this interesting line there, rook c6 right now. Takes. I was kind of considering this. This is hanging after the pin was blocked. However, we're going to get our material back with this fork. So, yeah, takes, and then that seems to work out pretty nicely for white. So I should have gone for that. In the game, I just come back bishop c3. Yeah, that e2 pawn was hanging a few times. They never went for it. Instead preferring to trade things, and now I play 3 to not lose it. We get a very equal position here, h4, h5 they play, so I can't play h5 to make that knight move. That would be nice. Queen g5 now, queen g4. So we're really just trading these things. Now we pin that knight, trade these rooks. So I'm a little bit better here just by virtue of the fact that I have a bishop. It's a long-range piece in an endgame. It can control both sides of the board simultaneously, but really not a huge advantage. Knight d4, of course, is just a terrible move because I let that hang. Fortunately, that was not taken advantage of. And here I think my opponent missed the critical g6, keeping my pawns stuck on dark squares and their pawns on light squares, so I wouldn't be able to get them. That's what you want to do if you're playing against a dark square bishop. You want to keep the pawns on light squares. Now I can't really touch them, and my pawns are restricting my bishop, and will eventually become targets, because you can imagine this king just waltzing probably to d5, and then maybe just taking a look at that f4 pawn, because I can't make any threats, so they can. But I was able to play f5 here. Now my pawns are a bit more mobile, and that pawn could be a target for me, and it was. I eventually, after missing it once or twice, I grabbed it, made a pass pawn on the g line, and then I think that's pretty decisive here, in view of that it ties at least one of their pieces down while my king can go this way, right? So I think that's... b5 was actually a very poor decision, though. You can see the eval fall from about plus 2.5 to dead equal. You shouldn't be making pawn trades if you're trying to win. If you're trying to draw, you should be making pawn trades, because now you look at this and you're like, okay, if you're black, you just need to give your knight and your pawn for these 2 pawns, right? You just need to leave white with no pawns. And I guess that is almost doable now that this knight can target here. I think maybe the other point is that... No, I'm making things up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think they should just be able to set up a screen. Like you see here, that these pieces are controlling all these squares. And eventually I tried to find a way through that way into d7 and then like c7. So we'll see what happened here. Eventually, so I play your bishop c3, and now I feel like they're in a bit of Zugzwang, because the king cannot guard e6, right? Because this was rattling back here and here. So I play bishop c3, try to put them in Zugzwang. The knight moves instead, which gives my king this entryway, losing control over d6 right now. So they should have played here, I guess, king g8. Now if my king tries to take this path, they have here knight a7 attacking the pawn, forcing b6, now knight c8. And yeah, now so they have this ability to play knight takes b6 and draw the game like this. So I shouldn't have traded off those pawns. So an a7 check, though, they never... They went to this pawn, which is the wrong one to go to. They should have been doing damage over here, the one unprotected. I'm very happy to trade everything there. But yeah, so then here I just grab both pawns. They're going to have to give their knight for this one, and so they resigned. So we got him there. We got him, got him. So I think if I am keeping up correctly, we should have 4 out of 8. Wow, and Fabi has 8 out of 8. Not bad at all, Mr. US Champion. Wow, he took down Duda after taking down Ariantari. Not bad, sir. So yeah, 4 out of 8, including 0.5 I gave me. Yeah, he's looking good. He is looking good. Potentially our next world champion. It is very, very possible. I would say if I had to pick someone, I would probably pick him. Because he's looked at elite form and has probably been the #2 player in the world for the longest, I guess, out of the elite players. You know, I remember even just like a decade ago where he was just like flew over 28. Then he came back down, and then of course he challenged Magnus in 2018, right? 19? Something like that. Yes, that is true. Good points, Resting Forest. Alright, well, we got our next game playing at WFM. Champablinka. F3. Got ready. Get ready. Huh. I'm so funny. Okay, get Catalan now. Oh, Queen C2 is a bit strange. Not sure what to do with that. I guess, what if I just push D4? Because they never played D4. It's like a Catalan with Queen C2 instead of D4. So I feel like here I just kind of took a little bit more space. Player A5. Take away B4. And I'd like to kind of straighten this out with E5. I'm willing to play here in C6. 5 would be good. Could play E3 at any moment. Okay, they do. But honestly, I'm none too concerned about that. Put my bishop here. I think honestly they should just play E4. Maybe I shouldn't have even given them that option. In fact, maybe I missed takes on AP4. They go for this. A bit surprising. I didn't think this was very good for white. Queen D4 is also possible. Bishop B2. Queen D6, D4. I think it just bishop takes, honestly. And let's straighten things out a bit. I like this E5 move. Let's free this light square bishop. Target this pawn. Should be a weakness now. I like C6 as well. Okay, C6. It's good. It stymies this and faces against that knight very well to control these squares. So my next moves are just really bishop F5. Maybe bishop G4, I'll throw that in. Do I want to oblige rook D2? Maybe. Or maybe not. But regardless, my rooks are just going to come to the center. I think this is very, very pleasant for black. And black really has almost no issues here. Knight E2 played. Alright, I'll swap. I guess they want to play D4. Let's play here Queen E7. Maybe I just take this, honestly. I could just stick my queen on D4 and claim some sort of edge. Kind of an interesting idea. I want to play against that light square bishop, and I think that could be just a really dominant outpost for me. So I've left them with just the light square bishop, which I think ideally should be pretty ineffective right now. I want my knight here, of course. That's the dream. They want to maybe play F4 at some moment, like King H1 would be, I think, what they should look for. A4 is a little bit on the table, I guess. They take away rook d8 because of the target on a5. Here comes my knight dancing around. I guess I invited rook e4 and d4 here. I did not mean to do that. Okay. That's a problem. Well, I guess d4, maybe I had f5 and e4, but they should have done it, I think. I think their alternative is much worse, because now I play an ac5. And now that is literally just a free pawn. Queen d3, rook e5, they don't have it. No, they don't have it, because rook e5 I would take it. And then knight d3 could defend it. I also maybe could have taken with a knight, rook d1, just rook d8. So, protecting the pawn has been a little bit annoying. Okay, they go over there, I was just going to play f6. Now this is, yeah, a solid extra pawn. I took this. It was kind of a weakness. So, you know, as pawns go, that's an okay one to lose if you're white. Let's just come back and play this solidly. I think this is, yeah, I really have no weaknesses. There's really nothing to attack if you're white here. Let's go with d8 now. a4 was spicy, and then like d3 trying to take it. Knight d3 maybe invites bishop e4. So this is a really nice artificial outpost, honestly. They play your a3, asking me to take bishop e4. I would just play f5, right? It's okay. I think. Actually, let's throw in this move, rook d4. Oh, takes. I didn't even see that. Oh, that could have been bad. Oh, that's very bad. Takes, and oh, I got so lucky. Oh my goodness. That would have been so bad. I just got so lucky, guys. Okay, we cannot squander this. Alright. Wow. Okay, let's focus. Oh, I got really lucky. Yeah, wait, just queen takes d4, and rook takes e8, and I was going to lose. Yep. Yeah, not much more to it. Rook d4 I just thought was a nice insurance move. It was not a good insurance move. Let's just go e4 and go. I mean, maybe takes and takes, there was a line there, but I didn't see it right away. So I'm going to go with this. Queen is now a bit awkwardly blockaded. Let's get in there. This should be good. I guess they're targeting this, but mine are faster. Certainly, right? Don't know why I did it like this. Okay. This could have been done a lot better. Oh, some issue here for them. This F pawn could be an issue. They can't check and take. Oh, nice. Okay. Whew, tough game. We pulled it out again in the endgame. Let's go. Oh man. Okay, that was actually better play than I thought. With 87.4, but a huge blunder there that we got away with. Alright, and we are in good position now. I guess that brings us to 5 out of 9, I believe. Okay, well, let's see. C4 here. And d4 here was a nice move. Yeah, so d4 by white would have been a transposition into the Catalan. But queen c2, d4, now, by me, I think I just take more space and I'm a little bit better. So that is what happens. Yeah, I should have just taken and gone knight b4 and really grabbed that pawn. I think that might have been possible. But instead we take a lot of space right there. e5. I really like this position for black now after c6. It stymies this bishop. The knight, none of these things have squares, and that pawn is very backwards, and d4 is very well blockaded. I'm not sure about this bishop e2 decision. It was interesting, and queen d4. It's good, like, if I can get that knight there. Somehow I struggled with that arrangement, because now rook e4, and they missed this opportunity to go d4. I guess here, rook comes back, maybe e4 for black. Oh, okay. Well, next game started. That game went a while, no time. Alright, we're playing a GM from Azerbaijan. It is Azer Mirzoev. Good luck. So we have, I believe, 5 out of 9 now until Tuesday. Let's play e6. Maybe e5 next time. We're trying to be a GM Slayer right now. Let's castles. There's this e4 line that's pretty sharp, kind of fun, but they don't go for it. Alright, I'm going to play this knight e4. f5. How is that possible? Isn't there this? g3 a take? What in the world? They needed queen f2. This is... What? Did they just blunder this? What? Okay. Okay. What's going on? What's happening? Alright, well, we just need to not get our queen trapped in there. So why don't we bail? ET come home. And let's get our other pieces out, and I'm up in exchange and a pawn. Alright, let's not blow it this time. Let's just not blow it. Let's go d6 and e5. Good for our late square bishop here. At that, we are doing great. Oh, f4 could be nice. Free this guy. I like this f4, attacks this knight, although maybe there's rook h1 pinning me. If they grab it, takes, rook h1. No, I have queen f5, offering that queen trade. Bishop comes back. I think we're going to get this GM yet. Can't believe you just played f3 and just invited queen h4. It's like the oldest trick in the book. Classic puzzle rush. Yeah, I mean, guys, don't move your f-pawn in the opening without being very aware of queen h4 check. Key point is to control this square, as you just saw. Take it, take h1. Take h1. Yeah, f4 now, so if g4, they didn't go for it. I guess I could take... Wow, I have a lot of good ideas here. Queen g6 just trades the queens. But I think I have better. Like, my knight can dance there. Check. h4. I guess knight g1 is possible to introduce this pin. Shift here. Attack that. Don't get mated on h7. Pressure F3, so E4. I was gonna go. Well, I also have this nice idea of maybe going knight F3. Let's have F4 now. Take some queen G2 was what I was thinking of. As soon as there's no H7 problem. We can take H4 now. Then I've got some other... Yeah, I've got too much cooking here. Got a lot cooking down these lines. Look at all my pieces, doing a great job. This is way more aggressive than I needed to be, starting up an exchange. But we love the aggression. Takes queen G2 check. I think is a really nice move. Or even rook F3 first. All these things are quite strong. We're just going to keep it simple. Queen G2 check. Really nice pin. Then knight takes F3. And then I'll take that. We're going to just keep it the easiest. Nice. We got him. We got that GM. Oh yeah, I appreciate the time warning. And good accuracy here. Got a brilliant. And really no mistakes. Look at this. No inaccuracies, no mistakes, no misses, no blunders. So, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Thank you, thank you. So we really got that GM. He really fell for like the oldest trick in the book. I don't know what the deal was here. So we have a standard Nimzo. So we're trying to fight for the E4 square here by pinning this knight. We want to play like B6, bishop B7, E4, F5. F5 is key instead of D5 often because you're trying to not block that bishop. So everybody's really going to, and bishop's going to take that knight. So everybody's going to contribute to that square. So they bring the queen up before playing A3 so that they don't have to double these c-pawns. And now the whole reason I jump in with an 84 and F5 before doing anything else is because I don't want them to play F3. If they play F3, E4, I think they achieve that really nicely and easily. For example, if I just go here and here, like I'm fighting for E4, but not really, because this controlled it very well. So I don't really want that to happen. So I play an 84 and F5 because then I'm going to do this next. And so I'm like, okay, you have the bishop pair, I have that control over the center, but they do play F3. Yeah, what a blunder. Yeah, I think so what they confuse that with is maybe knight H3 first, and now if something like B6, F3 now works much better. Because check, if G3, well now I actually would have just two things hanging. Here, this knight is blocking this pin with the bishop protecting, and this is just not enough for the piece. Well, I have no other pieces helping. So, F3, yeah, I mean, something to watch for in the opening at every level of chess. If you move your F-pawn, you need to be very, very aware of this check. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes like it's just check, G3, and then the queen needs to go back. But if there's like check, and like even like the queen could take a bishop next turn, right? Check, it would fork the bishop and the king, right? But otherwise, the main thing you want to look at with moving the F-pawn is who controls that square, right? Because if you can give that check and then take this in any way, whether with like a bishop or a pawn or a knight, if you can take that in any way, then you've got that pin. So, you know, if you move your F-pawn in the opening, you need to be aware of queen H5 check. And obviously my opponent knew that as a grandmaster, but forgot it here for a moment. So knight takes G3, and we just took that rook, and I think this is a pretty nice way to finish the game. So queen H5, I didn't want to get my queen, right? So first rule of being up stuff, don't risk anything. Don't allow bishop H3 here to then maybe trap your queen someday. Or knight H3, rather, and bishop G2 to trap my queen. So I really just pulled right out of there, developed my pieces, play E5, so I'm taking some stake in the middle of the board. I now got my pawns on some dark squares for my light square bishop, and so really getting pawns on the dark squares here now with F4, attacking that. So now this looks pretty nice, and the rook is going to be free. All these pieces now will be doing a nice job on their king, with really no safety, no harm coming to my king anytime soon. So I open that up against them. And now I bring my knight into the game, check knight H4. Now you'll note all these pieces that were looking really bad a moment ago, like, but the rook now is open, the bishop's open, everybody's looking at F3. But yeah, I mean, it started off looking pretty bad, right? Like, none of these guys doing anything. and I managed to, I think, improve my pieces a lot more than theirs. Like, they play bishop d2 and rook h1. The rook, I acknowledge, is causing some annoyance here, because they have pins here, and I also cannot get mated on h7 in any way. Knight g1 was another good move, so, really unveiling the rook and just trying to fortify f3. So I slide out of the way queen g5, threatening this bishop. Bishop now, so everything's going back to its starting square. And now here we come, really developing everything, trying to hit f3. Again, just don't blunder. Queen takes h7 is kind of the issue I'm having right now. And I also don't want to do something like bishop f5, hitting the queen, because now e4 hits that and that. So a few things to watch out for here, but bishop g4, they defend now here. And I play here this move e4, just because I'm really just trying to stop their e4. I'm not really too concerned about the cost of one pawn right now. I play e4, they take it, now I bring all my pieces into the game. They bring their queen to d4, it's off of this h7 thing, and I really now have almost nothing to worry about for this really nice tactic. But everything's looking great right now, all my pieces look great, so bishop takes f3. I got two exclams there, they take queen g2 check, really just like a nice move, and now I just kind of take everything. And GG. Alright, subscribe if that goes on YouTube. Next game. Here we go, let's keep this rolling. We're playing an FM from Israel. Let's play a Von Hennig Gambit. Alright, wait, I think this might be the last round now. I think we have 6 out of 10. Though I've kind of lost count a little bit. I think it's 6 out of 10. And we've got a Von Hennig on the board. Oh, awesome. Yes, I will respond to you. Thanks, Metal Eagle. I'll definitely respond. Alright, this is an interesting line. My opponent's thinking a lot. The point is that Knight takes f3. We're going to be playing against this bishop. Right? If they just play e6, it's going to be dangerous. For them castling, I'm going to be controlling like a lot of these diagonals and attacking with it. If they play bishop g4 before playing e6, then I have knight e5, a really nasty trick, attacking the bishop, and if they take my queen, I take their king. The really fancy checkmate there. And if they play bishop f5, then we have some nice lines where we castle, and the rook here is doing some damage. They play bishop f5 right now, which is another good idea, so not taking and giving me that development boost, so they're just trying to protect the pawn where it is. However, we've got some tricks here. We've got theory everywhere. Takes f7 is a fun line, and queen f3 now. We're going to try and get our piece back. So at this exact moment, we're down to bishop for not even a pawn. But we're attacking all these guys. If they protect just the bishop, so knight d6 was the best move, and after g4 there's some theory there. Here, I think this should be quite good. If they take this pawn, ooh, they do. A little greedy. I don't know theory off the top of my head, but this queen now, so they're up a pawn, but knight f3 is a really nice move with tempo. There's really no, the queen doesn't have any checks or anything. And now this knight can jump around. I would play bishop f4, but queen e6 check swaps the queens. I mean, it still could be a very dangerous situation for them, but I would like to not allow that. So I think what we're going to do is knight g5. Yes. The thing is, king e8, I can check, trade, and knight f7. If they go king g8, then bishop f4, e5. Okay, we're going to go here. I mean, everything's very good here. This is a very juicy position. All right, we're going to go with check. The e4 was also a spicy move there. Now bishop f4. I like this a lot. I think they should go e5. I think they should give their pawn back for just any freedom at all for these pieces. If this were Bughouse, a pawn would mate them. I'm just trying to get on this diagonal. g6, of course, I'm not interested in making this trade. Let's slide back with our queen, maybe to look at that square. In fact, I don't even have to protect my bishop, because check on e6 would be brutal for them. But let's... Oh my goodness, not there. Okay. Okay, I might have to use that tactical point that I just mentioned. So queen h3, queen f4, queen e6, king g7, queen f7, king h6. They might be able to run. g6 might have been a very good move here. c8 takes. Tough situation, actually. If they take this, I was going to maybe go to e6. I can also go, I have a few options. I have takes on e6. I have e6, queen e5. King moves. I guess they could give their rook there. The other option is takes, queen e6, check, king g7, queen f7, king h6, and then like h4. I'm aware this might not have been the best thing to do. Because now how do I get the king? Maybe I should have gone like that. Okay, but queen e5. Oh, what? Oh, they had queen e5 there. Oh, they didn't see I was attacking this. Oh, okay. I mean, I got very lucky there. Wow. Okay. Wait, but okay, there's a lot to analyze there. Wow. What? They went knight d7 and I just grabbed it. Okay, but I want to have a look there, because I think that's a pretty interesting line. And I think we both have a lot to learn from how that went down. Oh, that would be even better if I can open the file to win that knight. The knight is trapped. Alright, GG. Okay, what line, what round number was this? Oh, we finished with 7 out of 11 in Title Tuesday. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, and... Okay, I actually had 0 blunders, but 6 mistakes. I think a lot of those mistakes will be charged to me in the opening. Very interesting von Hennig here. A very, very interesting von Hennig. So, bishop c4 we played, and after knight f6, f3. So this is a very fun line, because if they take the pawn, then if they play e6, then this bishop is really locked out, and they will have a lot of trouble defending against some mate threats here. If they play bishop g4, then we have here knight e5, hitting the bishop, and checkmate. So if they take the queen, like I said, we take the king. So really fun trick here. And if bishop f5, this is all covered on my channel. But we have some really nice tricks trying to play like rook takes f5 and knight takes f7. So fun stuff here. If they play bishop g6, then we sacrifice even more. So there's really no way to dodge it all. Bishop f5 is what I would consider a very good line, trying to protect e4. But we have this nice trick of bishop takes f7 check. The point being king takes queen f3. Now we're attacking all this, right? So you see if they defend their bishop, we can take the knight. If they defend the knight, as was in the game, we can take the bishop. The best move here, and if they take here, then we can take the bishop first, and then take the knight. So we are getting our piece back. The best move is knight d6, I believe, so that they can try to get something back. They can get that pawn back, kind of. And then bishop f4, and still some really nice counterplay. But this is like the absolute best stuff. I've played all these lines on my channel. Knight d6 is not an easy move, and in the game my opponent plays knight f6, and then still wants their extra pawn really badly, and goes for this, I think, a little desperate queen takes d4. I think after e6, black can maybe patch their king, and then it's just like a little bit worse. But queen takes d4, they want to have that extra pawn, but it's bordering on suicidal. So knight f3, we hit the queen, comes back, knight g5 checks. It's already imprecise. I wanted bishop f4, but I was like, okay, I let them trade queens. Oh, I don't. There's this. This is check. I didn't see this move. Check. And we take the queen next turn. King's gotta detach from the queen. Oh, bishop f4 then would have been nasty, so keeping this check in reserve. So I go for it now, king g8, bishop f4, and g6, really good move. Really, really good move that they found here with g6. It's not something I saw. So my queen cannot hang on to the bishop, In fact, the engine is just telling me go here and just be a little bit better in this endgame. I mean, I have more than compensation for this extra pawn because black's pieces are really quite horrendous. But, okay, so that was what should have happened. But g6 was a really nice find. I still had better here than bishop f4, just castling or something like this, which also would have been better in this position. Okay, knight g5, bishop f4, g6, and so I play this spicy move, queen c8, giving this. So it gives me a couple options. So number one was the engine recommendation of just take and getting that back. Number two was like this move in e6, but it wasn't very good. They can just go check. Yeah, so here's the issue, right? They can play this like nice sacrifice here to not get mated, giving this. And I think now they're going to be quite free. So I didn't go for that either. In the game I went for this check, but I really don't have them. Like, I think, yeah, if my opponent just didn't lose their queen, like my opponent in the game here played knight d7, I took the queen. If they just didn't lose their queen, like gave this check, then what am I going to, like, how do I get them? Like, I need my rook here, right? And it's just, like I was thinking about this in the game, I was like, this takes too long. Or like, I need my pawn there. But otherwise, like, my queen needs to be on the other side, I guess. It's just a little boxed, she's a little boxed in over there. And a knight coming to e5 could even trap her. So, rough situation there, but I got very lucky. Knight d7 happened, and I took the queen, and I won a game that I didn't really deserve to win. I wish that would have been... Like, if I told you I beat my opponent in 19 moves from this position, you would have probably thought I played something very picturesque, but in fact, what happened was we traded blunders. Yes, thank you guys. 7 out of 11 is indeed tied for my best Title Tuesday. I think it is... Oh no, I think I've gotten... No, I got 7.5 once. I got 7.5 once. But is then tied for my second best Title Tuesday. But yeah, we are 39th, it appears, on the leaderboard here. 39th out of 390. So that's exactly the 90th percentile among title players. So that's not bad. And wow, somehow Fabi, after starting 8 out of 8, finishes 8.5 out of 11. And off the podium. He has the best tie breaks here, so if he got to 9, he would have jumped all the way to second. But yeah, he started 8 out of 8, but finished with just half out of 3. And so congratulations to Jose Eduardo Martinez Alcantara for winning Title Tuesday, clear first, 9.5 out of 11. All right, well, that is Title Tuesday for today. That was a pretty nice ending. I think we started off a little bit mediocre, but we ended pretty well. And yeah, thanks guys so much for watching. Let's find someone to raid.